Go ahead and call the May 27th meeting to order. City Clerk, if I can have the roll, please.
Councilmember Breitigam.
Here.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Here.
Councilmember Tran.
Here.
Councilmember Muñetón.
Here.
Councilmember Aristegui.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dovin.
Present.
And Mayor Klopfenstein.
Here. We will now have the invocation led by our Assistant City Manager, Matt West. And if I could have Councilwoman Yesenia Muñetón lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Please prepare yourself according to your faith. Dear Lord, as we come together this evening, may our conversations be grounded in wisdom, guided by clarity, and carried out with mutual respect. May we listen with empathy, speak with honesty and conviction, and act with thoughtful purpose. And Lord, let the choices we make tonight foster unity, encourage progress, and contribute to a brighter, more inclusive future for all that we serve. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Hats. Turn and face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we will adjourn the council meeting and go to the Housing Authority, and I will turn it over to Councilmember Breitigam.
We will call the Housing Authority convened. Madam Clerk, can we take roll?
Commissioner Aristegui.
Here.
Commissioner Beckles.
Here.
Commissioner Klopfenstein.
Here.
Commissioner Muñetón.
Here.
Commissioner P. Nguyen.
Here.
Commissioner Tan Nguyen.
Here.
Commissioner Tran.
Here.
Vice Chair Dovin.
Present.
And Chair Breitigam.
Here. All right. We'll open oral communications. Is there anyone here wishing to address the Housing Authority? Not the council, but the Housing Authority. Seeing none, we will close oral communications and move on to consent. We will entertain a motion.
I'll move it.
We have a motion. We have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Aristegui.
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles.
Yes.
Commissioner Klopfenstein.
Yes.
Commissioner Muñetón.
Yes.
Commissioner Philip Nguyen.
Yes.
Commissioner Tan Nguyen.
Yes.
Commissioner Tran.
Yes.
Vice Chair Dovin.
Aye.
And Chair Breitigam. Motion received, 9 yes votes.
We'll move on to matters. Is any members have anything they'd like to share?
None.
Seeing none, we will move to adjournment. Back to the council.
Thank you very much. With that, that takes us into oral communication. I do have several pink cards. We'll start with Tim Steed.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Tim Steed. I'm the Assistant General Manager at the Orange County Employees Association. We represent both the Garden Grove City Employees Association and the Garden Grove Employee League. These are the public servants who serve our city with professionalism and pride each and every day, ensure the streets are maintained so families, goods, and services can traverse safely around our city, work on water and utilities so our neighborhoods and businesses can function, public safety support that are the critical link in the public safety infrastructure, and of course, the city staff that helped bring the wonderful Strawberry Festival that just happened this weekend. We're here to just speak about negotiations. Our members have been at the table now for about 5 or 6 negotiation sessions. We just wanted to come speak directly to the city council about just some of the needs and issues that are facing Garden Grove city employees. Just recently, we've circulated a petition that we'll be presenting shortly that just asks for some simple requests. Those are wages that can keep up with rising costs, affordable and sustainable health benefits, appropriate pay for working nights and specialized roles, longevity incentives that value experience and retention, and a clear, timely, merit-based pay increases. Now, over 200 of the city employees have signed this petition, and in the next 5 weeks, our MOU or our contract expires. And we just want to convey to the city council our willingness and our eagerness to reach a fair agreement in these next 5 weeks so that we can get back to the business of the city. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Mariela Ortiz?
Good evening, council members. My name is Mariela Ortiz. I'm with OCEA and here on behalf of Tanya Samoff, a dedicated public safety dispatcher for the Garden Grove Police Department. I'll be reading her statement on her behalf. Outside of work, I am the sole income earner and caretaker for my family. While my salary may seem decent on paper, it is well below the median income in Orange County. According to the California Department of Housing and Community Development, I am now officially considered low income. I never thought, after a lifelong career in public service, that I'd carry that label. I've been a public safety dispatch for nearly 31 years, 11 with CHP as both dispatcher and supervisor, and almost 20 with Garden Grove PD. I hold a post-advanced certificate, a bachelor's in criminal justice, and a master's in public administration. I also teach at Golden West College, training dispatchers statewide, and serve as a subject matter expert in criminal law, gang awareness, hate crimes, and crisis communication. Many of my colleagues also have advanced degrees and decades of experience. We are highly trained professionals doing essential life-saving work. In a typical 12-hour shift, we gather and analyze vital information during active emergencies, support officers during high-risk incidents such as active shooters and suicidal callers. We also handle non-emergency calls, citywide communications for other departments, and after-hours support services. We are legally recognized as first responders, but still lack pay incentives that other cities offer. As public employees, we're not asking for wealth, but for a comfortable living. Several council members campaigned on a platform of public safety. Many members of the Garden Grove Employees Association are essential to maintaining the public safety of residents and visitors to the city of Garden Grove. As the police department's most valuable resource, according to their value statement, we hope that the negotiations team honors that principle by ensuring fair compensation, so that we can continue living in the communities we serve, working with pride, and delivering the highest level of service to the residents of Garden Grove. Thank you.
Carlos? Carlos, yes.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and city staff. My name is Carlos Rosales. I'm the lead organizer at Orange County Employees Association, and I'm here also on behalf of the Garden Grove League employees and the Garden Grove City Employees Association. We're here tonight because our members continue to seek a contract that accurately reflects the commitment to the city. The city already finalized the deal with the safety groups, 3% in 1 year and a new top step in year 2. Now it's proposing a similar wage package for us, but that would only positively impact around half of our members in year 2. For everyone else, there's nothing immediate. We appreciate any effort to invest in our workforce, but our members need relief now. Keeping up with the rising costs isn't a future need, it's a present one. We also want to address the longstanding concern for our members working nights, non-traditional hours, the lack of shift differential pay. This is standard practice across Orange County, particularly for 24-hour operations, like dispatch and police record. Among the city's comparative agencies, Garden Grove stands alone in not offering this benefit, okay? That's a big one. And while we're talking about around-the-clock service, we want to highlight our animal care workers regularly on standby, responding after hours to urgent calls involving injured or aggressive animals. These employees carry a heavy responsibility and deserve to be fairly compensated for the time they commit, even when they're off the clock, but still on the clock. We'd also like to recognize our public works members who are out in every kind of weather, maintaining essential infrastructure and responding to emergencies and making sure the city runs smoothly, literally from the ground up. Their work is often invisible until something goes wrong, but their value is constant. Beyond that, we want to acknowledge that many others those in community services, code enforcement, finance, and throughout city operation, whose dedication keeps this city moving, whether coordinating youth programs, ensuring compliances, or managing day-to-day logistics. Their work matters. We know you value this workforce. Many of you have told us so, and we believe you. That's why we're here before you tonight, because something is getting lost in the translation between council values and what's showing up at the bargaining table. We're asking for your support, your voice, your partnership. Together, we could bring this contract to a resolution that reflects both the real needs of the employees and the spirit of Garden Grove. Thank you.
Thank you. Charles Leon?
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Charles Leon. I serve as a labor representative with the Orange County Employees Association and as second chair in the negotiations for the Garden Grove City Employees Association and the Garden Grove Employees League. Together, we represent a dedicated city workforce that takes pride in serving this community and keeping Garden Grove running every hour of every day, all year long. A contingent of workers attended the last city council meeting, and you acknowledged the great work they do on behalf of the city. Tonight, we're joined by many more critical employees from across the city, and we're delivering an important message on their behalf. These petitions are signed by nearly 200 city employees from every department and classification and across all classifications in the association and the league. These signatures are more than just names. They're voices calling out for fairness, respect, and real support. And we're asking for your help. We've been at the bargaining table since early April, and so far, our members feel like their concerns aren't making it past whatever filters exist to you, the decision makers. This is frustrating, especially because many of us have strong relationships with members on this council. We've heard your support both publicly and privately. You've told us these employees matter and that they're valued and that you want to do right by them. But right now, that's not what is showing up in negotiations. We're not asking for anything unreasonable. We're asking for wages that keep up with the cost of living and benefit all members. We're asking for sustainable health care, incentives to retain experienced staff, and fair compensation for night shifts and for specialized work. To us, these are the fundamentals of a fair contract. As the city's leadership, you have both the ability and the responsibility to help guide this process to a respectful and responsible agreement. We believe you can, and we remain hopeful that will be reflected in the city's proposals very soon. We're united. We're ready for resolution. We're asking for you to stand with us and deliver the contract these employees have earned and deserve. Thank you very much.
Those are all the pink cards I have. Is there anyone wishing to speak under oral communication? All right, very good. We'll move on. We'll recess, actually reconvene to other agency bodies at this time. Madam Clerk, if you could call roll for successor, please.
Member Breitigam?
Here.
Member Nguyen?
Yeah.
Member Tran?
Here.
Member Dovin?
Present.
Member Aristegui?
Here.
Vice Chair Muñetón?
Here.
And Chair Klopfenstein.
Here. We've conducted oral communication with other legislative bodies. We will move on to the consent calendar. I have a receive and file the minutes. Do I have a motion?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Any matters from successor members? Okay, seeing none, we will adjourn and move to sanitary district. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Member Breitigam?
Here.
Member Nguyen?
Here.
Member Dovin. Member Muñetón.
Here.
Member Aristegui.
Here.
Vice President Tran.
Here.
And President Klopfenstein.
Here. We've conducted oral communications. Again, we're moving to the consent calendar. I have one item listed, approval of the Second Amendment to the Waste Disposal Agreement with the County of Orange for a one-year extension. Do we have a staff report for that, or can I ask for a?
It's under consent.
Okay, perfect. So I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. We'll reconvene back to council, but then I'd like to recess if we can. We do have a birthday. Those of us on this dais celebrate our birthdays. Councilmember Philip Nguyen. And so we're going to recess for 5 minutes or so and celebrate with some cake. All right, we will reconvene our council meeting here. We have the consent calendar, items 1 through 7. I can take a motion unless somebody has one item that they'd like to pull.
Mayor, I would like to pull the item regarding the proclamation recognizing June as LGBTQ Pride Month.
All right,
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. As we approach the month of June, we are nearing the celebration of Pride Month, and I'm so honored that I get to be here and share with you guys our proclamation for June 2025 as LGBTQ Pride Month. Whereas our nation was founded on the principle of equal rights for all people, but the fulfillment of this promise has been long in coming for many Americans. Some of the most inspiring moments in our history have arisen from the various civil rights movements that have brought one group after another from the margins to the mainstream of American society. Whereas, in the movement towards equal rights for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning LGBTQ people, a historic turning point occurred on June 28, 1969 in New York City, with the onset of the Stonewall riots. During these riots, LGBTQ citizens rose up and resisted police harassment that arose out of discriminatory criminal laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. Whereas civil rights for LGBTQ people have grown substantially in the last 4 decades, the LGBTQ Pride celebrations have taken place around the country every June to commemorate the beginning of the Stonewall riots. Whereas California has been a leader in advancing the rights of its LGBTQ citizens, and while further progress is needed, it is important to recognize and celebrate the substantial gains that have been achieved. And whereas during the month of June each year, the city of Garden Grove will light the clock tower at Village Green Park with rainbow lights and post a pride banner. Now, therefore, the Garden Grove City Council does hereby proclaim this month of June 2025 as LGBTQ Pride Month in Garden Grove.
Thank you, Councilwoman. With that, we have the remainder of the consent calendar. If somebody would like to move the balance. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Right.
Do we have to vote on that?
Did.
The balance we did, but the first one, we moved to pull it, but we didn't actually.
No, we
move
did. We voted.
the Resolution. Oh, we did?
We did.
Okay.
With that, we will move on to public hearings. Number 8.
Yes, this evening we have a public hearing for the adoption of resolutions confirming the annual levy of fiscal year 2025-26 assessments for the Garden Grove Street Lighting District, the Garden Grove Street Lighting District number 99-1, and the Garden Grove Park Maintenance District. And we have Alexa Viramontes here to provide that report.
Thank you, Mrs. Vasquez. Honorable Mayor, council members, tonight the City Council is asked to hold public hearings for the city's street lighting and park maintenance districts and to adopt resolutions for the collection of assessments for those districts. The public hearings are required by law, and their purpose is to hear testimony on the matter of annual assessments. Once hearings are complete, the resolutions may be adopted. Should the resolutions pass, the required information will be forwarded to the county assessor for a collection of the assessments. The assessments will raise approximately $1.3 million in streetlight revenue and $700,000 in park maintenance revenue. There are no increases to the assessment from last fiscal year. This concludes my report, and I and my consultant are available to answer your questions.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff at this time?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just a couple, there's more than one district, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
I never saw any maps included in it, like which district is which. I know in the past they'd had like little maps in there, just, differentiating one district from another district. So maybe in the future, we'd include those maps in the staff report for
Yes, we can absolutely
community
do
to
that.
see which district they may or may not be in. I know this one has no increases, so, but if there was an increase in one and not in another, then people would want to know what district they were a part of, and a map would make it a little easier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, at this time, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak on item number 8? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Madam Clerk, will you provide a report, please, on protests
you.
received?
Thank you, Mayor Klopfenstein and City Council members. At this time, I would like to enter into the record the following information. There are 35,162 parcels in the Garden Grove Street Lighting District, and as of 5:30 p.m., Tuesday, May 25th, 2025, the City Clerk's Office received a total of 0 protests and no additional protests as of the close of this public hearing. Therefore, there's not a majority protest for the Garden Grove Street Lighting District. Next, there are 343 parcels in District 99-1, and as of 5:30 p.m., Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, the City Clerk's Office received a total of 0 protests and 0 protests as of the close of this public hearing. Therefore, there is not a majority protest for District 99-1. And lastly, there are 35,715 parcels in the city's Park Maintenance District, and as of 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, the City Clerk's Office has received 0 protest and no protest as of the close of this public hearing. Therefore, there's not a majority protest for the city's Park Maintenance District. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Any discussion before I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'm second.
Have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, on to public hearing, item 9.
Item 9 is adoption of resolution approving the engineer's report and a resolution to confirm the annual levy of fiscal year 2025-26 assessment for the Downtown Assessment District, and Ms. Veramontes will provide that report.
And Mrs. Vasquez. Mayor, council members, tonight we have the final step in establishing the annual assessment for the Downtown Assessment District for fiscal year 25-26. The assessment remains the same from the previous year in accordance with the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972. The remaining action for the City Council is to hold public hearing to adopt a resolution confirming the assessments for the district. Should the resolution pass, all information will be forwarded to the county for collection of assessments. This concludes my report, and I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Questions of staff? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the public wishing to speak on item 9? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public hearing. And City Clerk, will you please provide your report regarding protests received?
Thank you, Mayor Klopfenstein and City Council members. At this time, I would like to enter into the record of the following information. There are 28 parcels in the Downtown Assessment District, and as of 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, the City Clerk's Office has received 0 protest, and as of the close of the public hearing, has also received no protest. Therefore, there is not a majority protest. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, any other discussion, or I'll entertain a motion?
Move it.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote.
Fast. Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, we will move on to public hearing, item 10.
Item 10 is report on the City of Garden Grove vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts pursuant to Government Code Section 3502.3. And Mrs. Janie Lee is here to provide that report.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you is a public presentation regarding city's vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts per Assembly Bill 2561. In September 2024, Governor Newsom approved Assembly Bill 2561, which modified the Myers-Brown Act by adding Section 3502.3 to the Government Code. The intent of AB 2561 was to enhance transparency and accountability between public agencies, employee organizations, and the public regarding staffing activities and challenges. Pursuant to AB 2561, the city is required to do the following. At least once a year, city shall hold a public hearing to present the status of vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts, including identifying any necessary changes to policies, procedures, and recruitment activities that may lead to obstacles in the hiring process. The hearing must be conducted prior to the adoption of the final budget if an annual or multi-year budget is being adopted in the fiscal year. The city shall allow each organized bargaining unit of the positions represented in the public hearing to make a presentation, and if the number of vacancies for the bargaining unit meets or exceeds 20% of the authorized full-time positions, the city will provide additional information upon the request of the affected bargaining unit. The additional information shall include the total number of vacancies, total number of applicants for vacant positions, the average number of days to complete the hiring process, and opportunities to improve compensation and other working conditions. Human Resources Department works extensively with other city departments to conduct comprehensive recruitment and selection process to fill the city's vacancies. In 2024, the city started with 568 full-time budgeted positions and added 4 positions for a total of 572 positions by the end of the year. The city was able to fill several positions and reduce the total number of vacancies from 51 to 37 positions by December 2024, and the city's overall vacancy rate decreased from 8% to 5% for full-time positions. The average vacancy rate for each represented and unrepresented bargaining units for all of 2024 ranges from 0% to 11%. Employee Association being at 10%, the League at 11%, Police Officer Association at 3%, Police Management at 0%, Central Management unrepresented at 3%, Middle Management unrepresented at 10%. For 2024, the city's retention rate was at 97% for full-time employee positions. There was a total of 14 employees who resigned to pursue other employment opportunities. The retention rate for each of the represented and unrepresented groups ranged from 95% to 100%, with Employees Association at 95%, Employees League at 99%, Police Officer Association at 98%, Police Management at 100%, Central Management at 100%, and Middle Management at 98%. The city's retention rate for part-time positions in 2024 was at 88%. There was a total of 21 part-time employees who resigned from the city. These part-time employees resigned for a variety of reasons, including full-time employment, scheduling conflicts, and educational obligations. In 2024, the city reduced its overall vacancy rate through consistent recruitment efforts. HR conducted a total of 73 recruitments with over 4,700 applicants considered for these positions. To attract qualified candidates, the city implemented targeted advertising strategies and collaborated with city departments to streamline recruitment process while adhering to established hiring practices and state and federal regulations. In 2024, the average duration for the recruitment and examination process was approximately 43 days. This time frame is influenced by a variety of factors, including the difficulty in filling the position, internal or external candidate pool, and examination components. To maintain a continuous pipeline of candidates, HR conducts regular recruitment meetings with the police department and community services. For the police department, the city conducts quarterly recruitments at the recruit, academy trained, academy enrolled, and lateral levels. This ensures that the police department has an ample pool of candidates to fill current and future vacancies for sworn positions. For community services, the city conducts triannual recruitments for the part-time classifications of recreation specialist and recreation leader. HR also holds biweekly meetings with the police department, monthly meetings with the Public Works Department to discuss department recruitment vacancies. Since these are our 2 largest city departments, these meetings provide an opportunity to strategize on short-term and long-term recruitment plans and opportunities and prioritize along with discussing and resolving recruitment and hiring issues. Human Resources staff meets with other city departments as needed to discuss the recruitment process. The city also implemented measures to increase candidate participation in the recruitment process. By taking advantage of changing technology, multiple choice exams have been administered remotely to allow candidates to take the exam on their own convenience. Additionally, the city also provides candidates the opportunity to conduct interviews remotely through Zoom. Although the city has successfully filling full-time positions, there have been few challenges in hiring process rooted for both structural limitations and evolving labor market. Both candidates seek full-time employment, the part-time candidates seek full-time employment and often decline part-time offers. It is common for several offers to be declined before a candidate accepts. This is a lengthy time process. Additionally, the city faces competition with private sector employers as minimum wage increases. In January 2024, the state minimum wage increased from $15.50 to $16 per hour, followed by implementation of a $20 minimum wage for fast food workers in April 2024. In January 2025, the state minimum wage rose to $16.50 per hour. Another recruitment challenge facing the city and other employer is the evolving nature of the workplace. COVID-19 pandemic significantly reshaped the workplace expectations, with many employees now accustomed to and preferring positions that offer remote or hybrid work arrangements. Prospective applicants frequently inquire about hybrid schedules before applying, and departing employees have cited the availability of such arrangement as an attractive benefit offered by their new employer. Although the city has a telecommuting policy, the agreement for remote work is decided by each department on a case-by-case, which cannot be guaranteed during the recruitment process. The city has established and implemented several comprehensive initiatives to strengthen the employee retention. These initiatives include providing longevity pay to recognize extended city services, offering professional development training to enhance technical and/or supervisory skills for promotional opportunities, and partnering with California State University Fullerton University Extension to provide the Leadership Academy to cultivate and prepare internal talent for leadership positions. Additionally, the city supports educational advancement towards a degree through tuition reimbursement program and promotes employees' engagement and morale through regular appreciation and recognition events, such as the Employee Service Awards. Beyond these core strategies, the city also implemented other retention practices, such as a 980 work schedule, city holiday closures, employee assistance programs, and clear internal promotional pathways. Collectively, these efforts are intended to foster a stable, motivated, and high-performing workforce that is committed to long-term public service. It is recommended that City Council hold a public hearing on the city's vacancies, recruitment, and retention efforts per AB 2561 and receive the informational report on City of Garden Grove vacancies and recruitment and retention pursuant to Government Code Section 3502.3. This concludes my report on the City of Garden Grove's vacancies and the retention, recruitment and retention efforts per Assembly Bill 2561, and I'm available for any comments. I think I said AB 2561 like 30 times today within the last 2 minutes.
I'm sorry, I missed a few points. Can you redo? Colleagues, any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. So
This is just
yeah.
questions only because public
Okay.
hearing. So yeah, so
Okay.
just questions for staff right now, and then we'll come back to comments in just a second. Any other questions? Okay.
Can you tell me about employee association vacancy? That 10%, that's come with how many person is that? Personnel?
I don't have that. We have 100 and I think 34 people, so about 13 vacancies. That's just my math on the fly.
Thank you.
Any other questions of staff before I open the public hearing? All right, with that, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the public wishing to speak on item 10? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. And now, Councilwoman?
yes. So listening to the report and kind of following through with the report that we have on the screen, we could see that our city actually have a very good retention. Everywhere we go, I talk to many of the employees, even the one that retire, they all say great thing about Garden Grove City. As of yesterday at the Strawberry Festival, I was volunteer to help at one of the booths doing the funnel cake. And the person next to me, he worked for our PD for more than 30 years. And I just asked, like, what do you think about Garden Grove City? He said all the great things. And I think that throughout the council member here, for the last 2 or 3 years, or even the last couple of weeks, we saw that we were trying to bring back some of our employees who perform great and retire, but we still want to bring them back. So I just want to highlight that, just, looking at this, we provide Cal State Fullerton academic leadership program, longevity pay, so many things that I think our staff think of all the possibility and, like kind of different way to see that what can we do for the employees. And you saw that earlier. I know that we going through the negotiation now, but I just want the resident there to know that this council member, when we make a decision not just because we're here, but we know that this is gonna make impact to the resident, to our friend, to the family, to the people around us. So just so you know that when this council will make the decision with the heart and with their family in their mind. So that's what I want to say. But great job, Jenny, for the detailed report. And that gives us a lot of information for us to make a decision here when we don't deal with it day to day. But by going through this, a lot of detail. So thank you so much.
Any other comments from my colleagues? Thank you very much for the presentation, for sharing and all that we're doing. I think our climate and culture here in the city of Garden Grove is fantastic, and that's shown by how many employees we have that have served for 20 plus years. So we're doing well. With that, I'll entertain a motion. Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, we'll move on to items for consideration. Number 11.
This evening, number 11 is award a contract to Quinn Power Systems for on-call generator and Caterpillar engine maintenance and repair services. And Director Bill Murray is here to provide the report.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez. Mrs. Mayor, members of the council. Tonight, City Council is being asked to award a contract to Quinn Power for on-call generator and Caterpillar maintenance and repair. This contract will fund the maintenance and repair of the city's backup generators and natural gas engines used for pumping water and sewer at our water and sewer facilities. This contract will be replacing a much smaller purchase order for $25,000, which is simply not enough to complete all the work that is needed. The proposed contract is for $150,000 annually for the next 5 years and should be sufficient to cover the city's needs over that time frame. Staff received and opened one responsive proposal on March 24th of this year. Staff reviewed and evaluated the proposal and determined that Quinn Power provided a responsive bid and recommends award of the contract. Should council decide to award the contract tonight, the company can begin maintenance and repair work within the next 2 months. This purchase order will be paid for with fleet, water, and sewer funds as appropriate. The general fund is not impacted. This concludes staff's report, and I'm available to should you have any questions.
Colleagues, yes.
I have a quick question. So according to your report, the existing blanket purchase order was $25,000. And so now you said that it is insufficient. So how did you do what was the rationale how to come up with the $25,000 then? And now that you have $150 annual for 5 years, so does it mean that this one in the next couple of years, you're gonna have another number?
No, we're pretty confident on this number. What we've seen over the last, basically, I'd say 3 to 5 years, is a significant number of rolling blackouts that have been affected to our Southern California, and actually I think most of California, as a result of a lot of the restrictions that have been put on the power companies. So when they have a rolling blackout or any type of a power disconnect, our facilities have to power up, and that puts an impact on the generators. So we've seen that really start to shift the load from coming off power from Edison or what have you onto the generators, and they need to be responsive and in good working order so that we can keep our vital public facilities up and running. The same thing is true for water and sewer. If we get a rolling power blackout that occurs here at City Hall, there's nothing that's preventing it from taking down one of our water facilities. Our water facilities have backup engines in there. For those of you that have gone with me, you've seen them. I know we use the Caterpillar engine, but in here, but there's different manufacturers, and mostly they're natural gas engines, and those all need to be maintained as well. And the load that they're being subjected to also has gone up with these rolling blackouts. So now, just all of that additional use is showing some cracks in our system, so to speak. So the best way to combat that is to go ahead and put it on a full-blown, basically, maintenance schedule, which is what was calculated and planned for here.
So this is only for the maintenance schedule. Do you have a projection that maybe there would be time that you might have to replay or things like that, kind of long term, rather than just try to fix it?
We do have ongoing facility assessments at each one of our big facilities, and we try to predict when we will need to replace an engine. Sometimes that works. Other times we haven't been so lucky, and you will get an emergency contract come through where we have to redo get an all new motor or what have you. Recently, we had a fire at one of our pump houses, and of course that engine is no longer useful, so we're having to get get one of those rebuilt. So in those types of scenarios where something unexpected, so to speak, happens, we will come back to you, and it'll be under an emergency provision.
I think we just rely on our staff skill to identify and make a plan what's coming up, but that is something to keep in mind. You have something that you have to maintain, and you know that the crack that you mentioned earlier, so just keep in mind, if you could take a look and see that if you need to maybe do a survey or something, that just prepare for the future if you need to replace rather than just fixing it. That's it for me.
Yes.
Yeah, just to clarify, this is up to
Yes.
150,000, not every year 150. So
No.
this is just if they need the money at the time. This isn't an ongoing cost of 150,000, although it could be theoretically, but that's not what its intent is to cover shortfall, right? Or what needs to be done.
Yes, and I'll maybe I wasn't clear, obviously, with previous council member, but this is our plan. So we went through and looked at the new impacts and determined how much it should cost to deal with those impacts. And this is the fiscal part of that, where we need funding to execute that plan. So we do have one, and hopefully we're in good shape with it.
Any other comments, questions, or I'll ask for a motion?
I'll go ahead and give a brief comment, because I got the wonderful opportunity to visit the water pump stations with Bill and the wonderful Sam Kim, who helps us with all of our wonderful water work. And I want to thank you, Bill, for being proactive in this case, and Sam as well, and trying to look ahead of what could be a potential complication for us to try and mitigate some of the potential costs that could come before us if we have to do full-blown replacements. And I remember when we went on our tour and we were talking about the possibility of blackouts, you brought up a neighboring city, which I shall not name, but they had an issue with their generators because they didn't have a propane generator, and they weren't able to act quickly when they had a situation come up. So I'm really glad that not only do we have the infrastructure and the ability to handle and continue our operations when an emergency strikes, but that we are being proactive to try to make sure that when those situations happen, we can tackle them. So thank you guys so much for continuing to look out for all of our wonderful infrastructure. So you guys are awesome.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, item number 12.
Item 12 is award a contract to Orange County Welding, Inc. for on-call welding and fabrication services, and Mr. Murray will provide that report.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez, Mrs. Mayor, and members of the council. Tonight, City Council is being asked to award a contract to Orange County Welding for on-call welding and fabrication services. This work is generally required for vehicle and water facility repairs. This contract will be replacing a current contract that will expire at the end of the fiscal year, which is end of June. The proposed contract is for $200,000 annually for the next 5 years and should be sufficient to cover the city's needs over that time frame. City staff received an open one responsive proposal on April 14th, 2025. Staff reviewed and evaluated the proposal and determined that OC Welding provided a responsive bid and recommends award of the contract. Should council decide to award the contract tonight, the company can begin repair and fabrication work within the next 2 months. This purchase order will be paid for with fleet and water funds as appropriate. We do not expect any general funds to be impacted. This concludes staff's report, and I'm available should you have any questions.
I have a quick question for you. Why only one person bidding on this? I've noticed that now for the last 2 items. Is this a rarity? Is there a reason why more people aren't bidding on these projects?
We have a lot of college graduates. We do not have a lot of trade graduates.
Understood. Yes.
So when I was looking over the agenda and I saw this $200,000 a year for a welder to on-call weld, and I, kind of got curious. I Googled, how much does a welder make in Southern California? And I got $50,000 to $80,000 range that it came back with. But it had a caveat, in some bigger cities, slightly more. And then I started thinking to myself, and maybe you can explain it, but $200,000 versus high-end, let's say $90,000 with all the certificates. Wouldn't it be a lot cheaper for us to hire a city welder? It seems like we could save $50,000 a year right on this one line item alone by having our own in-house welder, and then they're available anytime you need them, right?
Well, that's an excellent point, Councilmember Brightigan. The issue is that the work is cyclical. We will weld up a lot of stuff and get it powder coated or painted, and it'll work just fine for a number of years, and we won't need a lot of welding help. And then there's other times where, especially at our water facilities, where being around the water, we get rusting and fatigue of the metal, and we just need to do a lot of work to keep that in good repair. And it isn't just a welder that OC Welding will bring on. They will bring a crew of welders if we need it, if the project justifies that. Generally, for the automotive, it'll either be something on somebody's truck that needs to be repaired. Maybe a hinge on one of the utility doors is starting to fail, and they're going to go ahead and buttress it up with some welding. Or they need to attach a more permanent attachment of a particular piece of equipment to the truck. Or worst case scenario is the frame is cracked, and we need to get that welded up. Those are generally one man jobs. Like I said, they don't happen a lot, and this is another worst case scenario contract. So I don't anticipate using this much. And should it be something that is going on, and we do it for 5 years, that's the longest the city attorney will let us go without reprimanding us. That way we are not constantly coming back over here with contracts every year. But we only use it when we need it. And right now, especially in the water facilities, we're expecting a decent amount of work.
Thank you. You clarified that for me.
Bill, thank you for clarifying that, because when we were going through agenda review, I was also like, wait, we don't have our own welder? We have so many cool things in our city. We have so much amazing infrastructure when it comes to carrying water and all of that. I'm like, we don't have a welder. But thank you for clarifying that, Bill, because I also thought that was like one person, but I'm glad to know that it's
We
up to 200,000 many people.
We do have welders at the yard. We
Oh,
have
cool.
welding equipment at the yard. But when a weld is supporting a frame of a truck, you want a true certified welder that is doing the right thing, not, somebody like me that welds in his garage.
Thank you, Bill. I feel a lot better knowing that, and thank you for clarifying that, because it was one of those things that if I blink and you'll miss, but up to 200,000 for 5 years, should emergency need arise, we could, have a team come and fix something for us. So thank you.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
On to item 13.
Item 13 is award a contract to Palp Inc., doing business as Excel Paving Company, for the Harbor and Garden Grove Intersection Improvement Project, number CP-1303,000, and Mr. Murray will provide that report.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez, Mrs. Mayor, members of the council. Tonight, City Council is being asked to award a contract to Palk Incorporated that's doing business as Excel Paving Company for the construction that will widen the intersection at Harbor and Garden Grove Boulevard. In general, the project will add an eastbound right turn lane along Garden Grove Boulevard and a northbound left turn lane along Harbor Boulevard. The right turn lane is right in front of the Carl's Jr., and the left turn lane addition will make dual lefts going northbound on Harbor at the boulevard. Furthermore, all the existing through lanes will be widened to at least 11 feet, which we have some pretty thin lanes there and a very, very thin median, especially on Garden Grove Boulevard. And of course, all of this work includes new signal hardware to accommodate the widening. All the work is to be completed at a cost of almost $6.7 million. Staff received a grant from OCTA of almost $4 million, which will be matched with the city's gas taxes, and then it's the new one and the old one. Measure M, basically funds that were just given to us based on our population. And the project will be paid for in a 65% to 35% ratio. So if the cost of the project goes up, the cap will be for OCTA $4 million. But if we spend less than that, it'll be at that 65%, 35% ratio. Staff received and opened 4 qualified bids earlier this year and determined that Excel Paving Company to be the lowest responsible bidder. Should the council decide to award the contract tonight, the contractor can begin work in summer and should be complete early next year. This project was included in this year's capital improvement plan and will be paid for using M2 grant funding, gas tax, and M2 local funds. As a special note, this is another widening at a major intersection. We've done many, many of these through the years. I'm surprised I haven't done this one before. Actually, I kind of did it before. That's when we went from 2 lanes to 3 lanes, and that was in preparation for the SR 22 project. And my point for all of that is that there will be impacts to traffic. You know, you're going to break some eggs when you make an omelet, and this will be one of those scenarios. We will do our best to work with that. We have a traffic mitigation plan. We always work with the business owners and do everything that we can for them. But inevitably, there will be complaints by motorists, and there will be complaint by businesses. And trust, we are here. Just give me a call, and we will address it the best that we can, just like we have many other times. So that concludes my report, and I'm available should you have any questions.
Thank you. Colleagues, questions? Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you for clearing that question about traffic. That was one that I had today. How will the traffic be, how will it impact traffic? I guess the following question would also be, like, what would be the working hours that Public Works would be in doing their job?
Well, the contractor will have a permit that will allow them basically to go from 7 to 5. The majority of the work, you know, there's early work that they can do in terms of prepping the equipment and what have you. Sometimes they get an early start on that. Hopefully that won't be happening on this project. And of course they can work later than that. But prime traffic, or prime opportunity for the work will be basically from 9 to 3. So that's when I expect the majority of the actual work to be done, where lanes will be impacted and what have you. But you will see people there before that time and after that time. And the contractor will kind of it'll be very quickly, they will get a feel for when they can start and really start pushing it, and when they have to knock it off, because the traffic will let them know. And we will be out there monitoring this issue. We have an excellent traffic division that helps point that out to us.
Bill, just to clarify, is that AM to PM or PM to AM?
AM to PM.
AM
We are
to
not
PM.
working at night.
Okay, so projected working hours 7 AM to 5 PM?
Correct.
Okay. I do share the same concern that Councilmember Yesenia Muñetón has, because living off of the wonderful intersection of Garden Grove and Harbor, that intersection has been like the bane of my existence for so long. But thank you guys for the left turn lanes. It is such a heavily used and relied upon route, especially because it does have that connection to the 22. Is there, you say you guys have done traffic studies with regards to this?
There'll be a traffic mitigation plan.
Okay, perfect.
And our plans are fluid.
Good.
If we see that what we're doing doesn't work or it's not good enough, we will then try to redirect traffic. And then over time, the residents will figure that out. It's like, it's just not worth going through that intersection. I'm going to go get on the freeway at Hastor and, the freeway and go that way. Or if you're coming, you'll use Euclid and stay off of Harbor. So those things do occur.
Yeah.
And so I expect traffic to be there. It's always heavy right when we start doing our work. And then it tends to kind of reach an equilibrium and kind of mellow out a bit, so to speak. So, but it is a living, breathing type of a thing where we need to be really cognizant of what's going on, especially with the SR22, and how traffic is getting to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be the squeaky wheel here, because I live off of the what they call the stone streets, right, off of Rainbow and on Flint and Marble Courts, all of those streets there, right. Even at present, there's a lot of folks that say, hey, like, folks are speeding through Rainbow and Flagstone because they're trying to get away from the Harbor and Garden Grove traffic. I am concerned, and I do foresee this being a concern for folks in that neighborhood as well, and probably also folks that live off of New Hope and Banner, that folks are going to be cutting through those residential areas. So I look forward to seeing how you guys might address that in the traffic mitigation plans. But I do want to highlight that for you guys, because I can definitely see that coming up, being a concern for residents, seeing as there's existing concerns about the traffic on that street. I don't know what methodologies you guys could use to potentially mitigate some of the speeding concerns and traffic concerns, because there's several stops there. But just want to make sure that I flag those potential areas for you guys.
We use a time-honored tradition of police officers.
Love those. Yes. Love. Yes. Good.
Then it
Let's
works
get
great.
some enforcement would definitely be great there. Yes. Thanks, Bill. But yeah, thank you so much.
You have my number. We appreciate any input and look forward to working with you as this project goes forward.
Absolutely. And I want to let you know, like, I've been looking forward to this improvement for a while, having lived out of right adjacent to that area. And in the many presentations that you and your team have given us, we know that specific intersection is one where we could use a lot of sprucing up in terms of our roadways, and it's one of the mainly used arteries in our city. And it's also one of the areas that we really look at for developing in our city in the future. So this is definitely a much needed improvement. I know it's going to be a temporary encumbrance for residents, maybe to have to take detours and take maybe a little bit longer to get to work or get to school. But the long-term benefit of that is going to be better traffic access, and everything's just going to look nicer and improved. So thank you, guys.
If I may add one more question, you mentioned that you're going. How can you, like in more detail, in which way will you be supporting our businesses in that, in those areas as well?
Well, the first thing to do is start talking with them. So establishing that communication allows the business owners to say, hey, my traffic's really being impacted, you know, can we make sure that this driveway is open from this time to that time? And anytime we have the ability to keep a particular driveway open or emphasize that the driveway is open, we really look at that. You know, there will be an impact though, and the business owners will not be happy with us. Even though the McDonald's is about a mile away or so, I'm sure Patty Whitcomb will be upset with me yet again, but you know, that's also another time-honored tradition. So just let us know. We are in direct communication with the contractor, and wherever we can make accommodations, we will.
Thank you, Bill.
I have 2 quick questions. So I look at the report, and there was 4 contractor. I'm guessing we picked this one because they have the lowest bid. So my 2 questions is, the first one would be, how do you control the cost in the way that would they be able to come back and say, oops, there was something else that going to cost more? So that's the first question. The second question, that did we have any experience to work with the top 2 that have the lowest bid?
That's an excellent question, council member. And I'd like to point out to the council that when I've been in charge of a project through Public Works, we've gone over budget twice. And one of them was at a request from a previous city manager, not Lisa, that wanted an additional building torn down. And we attached that to a contract. We have established, since I've been here, very strict protocol for how we put projects out. And we also really examine each bid coming in and look for discrepancies that would lead to problems. And our staff goes through and checks out all of the numbers and makes sure that they make sense. And so unless there's something completely and utterly unexpected, which does happen, we've had a great deal of success of coming in time and on budget. To be perfectly honest, with our department, it's expected. We just don't go over. That's, for those of you that have been here a while, you know that.
Sorry, so the second part of the question, that do you have any experience with the one that we selected?
Oh yeah, Excel Paving is they're an old company. I dealt with them when I was actually young.
You're still young.
Well, thank you very much. Just a quick comment that we really appreciate the public work, all the things that you guys do, and I know that everybody respects you greatly because of all the things that you do and all, you know, with the employees that work for you too. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember, did you have a comment or question?
Yes. My question got, Cindy got first already, but I still have another question. As you know, everybody know that extension the street is very important, especially Harbor and Garden Grove is like a main artery. I got stuck there all the time, so it's great. It's great that we're able to open it. And with all the concern from myself and the resident, I would like to know, is there a timeline that we know how long we're going to take that we're going to finish that project?
Well, I mentioned in the report that I'm expecting it to be complete in the early part of next year. The things that would delay that are any sort of a major change order, but more specifically rain.
Okay, thank you.
Quick question on, and it just goes to the ADA stuff, basically. You know, getting us something like this done, we're gonna have the ramps in and all the bells and whistles for our disabled members of the community.
Yes, we have to by law.
Colleagues, do I have a motion on this item?
Second.
Motion and second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, our final item under items for consideration, number 14.
Item number 14 is award of contract to ACT One Construction, Inc. for the Woodbury Park Revitalization and Expansion Project, IFB number S-1340. And Mrs. Janet Pelayo is here to provide the report.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. On March 14, 2025, staff solicited bids for the Woodbury Park Revitalization and Expansion Project. The project includes a full park reconstruction across approximately 3.8 acres and features a new 25-meter, 6-lane swimming pool, 2 playground areas, skate plaza, outdoor fitness equipment, basketball courts, park restrooms, a pool house building, lighting, landscaping, and a new parking lot. On May 6, 6 bids were received and opened by the city clerk's office. On May 19th, staff notified the lowest bidder, Horizons Construction Company, that their bid proposal was found unresponsive as there were several bid irregularities identified by the city and additional irregularities identified by the protests filed by Act 1 Construction. State law provides that bids that do not conform to the invitation for bids must be rejected and non-responsive unless the City Council determines that the irregularities are inconsequential, do not affect the bid price, and do not give the bidder a competitive advantage over the other bidders. Staff's independent review of Horizons Construction Company's bid has concluded that waiving those irregularities in their bid would give Horizons Construction Company a competitive bid advantage over the other bidders, given the number of irregularities that were found in their bid. Staff proceeded to review the bid documents submitted by the second lowest contractor, Act 1 Construction, with a total bid of $10,393,088 and the bid alternate item 2A additional cost of $598,912 for the LSI playground equipment, for a project total bid amount of $10,992,000. Staff would like to request that the City Council award a contract to Act 1 Construction. The licenses and references of the contractor have been reviewed and verified by staff, and all other documentation is in order. If approved, the contract schedule will start on sometime in June 2025, with completion anticipated by March 2026. The Woodbury Park Revitalization and Expansion Project is included in the adopted Community Services 5-year capital improvement plan. The project is funded by the Proposition 68 statewide park development and community revitalization grant funds, as well as park fee funds. There is no financial impact to the city's general fund. It is recommended that the City Council tonight, 1, reject Horizons Construction Company's bid as unresponsive. 2, award a contract for the Woodbury Park Revitalization and Expansion Project in the amount of $10,992,000 to Act 1 Construction. And finally, authorize the city manager or designee to execute the agreement on behalf of the city and make minor modifications as appropriate. Thank you. That concludes my staff report, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, questions or comments on this item? Sure.
This is awesome. I'm looking at the renderings, and you know, I think the city has really gone in the last 5 years or so and kind of comprehensively looked at a lot of the parks and done some well-needed improvements around this community. This particular park really needs the love. However, there is a caveat there. At least in my district, 2 of the parks are leased from the school district, and the mixing of funds, city funds and school district funds, that becomes problematic. And you know, just today I got an email from a resident who was upset with the tennis courts over there at Chapman, you know, and rightfully so. I mean, you go over there and it just looks, I mean, those are literally the 2 worst parks in our city right now. The 2 that we're leasing from the school. So I don't know. I am so for this, don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing this same way because I love it. I think it's a great idea, and I'm glad we're going there, and I do realize grants come into play and that kind of stuff. But we need to reimagine how we're dealing with the school district on those parks, because they are just atrociously bad. And they're constantly bad. And we get emails and we get texts and we address one little thing and then two other things are going. And then we need to comprehensively look at those facilities, those parks, and come to an agreement with the school district on going forward, because they're getting to the point of no return. They just quite frankly are. So anyway, with that being said, this is a beautiful project. I'm really excited. I'm sure the residents over there at Woodbury are going to be enjoying this facility and the children there for many, many years.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yes, I have. I'm very excited for this park because it's going to impact our residents in District 5 and District 6 that they're looking. This is a beautiful space that's going to be recreated, and this piece that you have in front of us is amazing. So I'm really, really excited about it. I guess my question is, when do we start this project? When will there be groundbreaking for it?
So as soon as council approves and awards this contract, we will come up with a timeline. Right now, it may take a couple weeks to execute the agreement and get everything in order with the company. After that, we would be discussing groundbreaking, so maybe 30 days, 45 days from now, so pretty soon.
Okay.
We'll make sure that we coordinate with everybody's schedule on that.
Yes, please do, because I know our residents are eager about this park. They're excited about it. They're asking about it, and I want to make sure that they have, that we get this going, because we've been waiting for a park in that area for so long, and it's just so exciting. And this is amazing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I want to, first of all, commend both of you guys and your entire team with how amazingly you guys have worked on this project. I mean, I've been hearing about this project since my predecessor, Kim Nguyen, was working on this and was working to try and get us some funding for it. I know she's going to be ecstatic when I let her know later today that that we're finally going to get somewhere and we're going to finally break ground soon. I mean, you guys have just knocked it out of the park. We've seen, you guys have gone with the flow and the iterations of the project and listened to so much feedback. We've attended community meetings where residents have come and expressed their concerns, have shared their insights, let you guys know what it is that they want. So I want to thank you guys for being so receptive to community feedback and being so present for the residents and listening to what it is that they want as well, right? This has just been a wonderful partnership with everyone involved. So thank you guys so much for all of that. I echo Yesenia's sentiments in that our residents are really excited about it. It's Garden Grove is what we call like a park poor city because we don't have a lot of parks. But I'm excited to see that we're going to be able to bring this park back to life, like literally from the ground up. Yes. And not only that, but we are creating a space that is going to have potential programming capabilities that aren't just going to benefit the residents of District 5 and District 6, but are going to be welcoming to residents from all across the city. And which is why I'm so excited about the pool and the programming capacity that the pool has, the courts. This is going to be a very much needed change and update for our community. So thank you guys so much for all the work that you've done. I cannot wait to finally break ground. Let's go. And if no one else has anything to say, I would like to make a motion.
Duly noted. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have still comments. Or, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I want to say something real quick. Did look great. And I have been many places with night park, and I would love to see more of this type of park in our Garden Grove City. We heard so many times as council member Ariana just said that, poor park in Garden Grove City. And we want something nice that we could go and feel relaxing and feel enjoying the moment, with the park environment. So by looking at it, I'm excited that we have something coming up. But at the same time, I really ask our staff to come up with some creative idea. What can we do for Garden Grove Park? Whether, do small section or something. But I really, really hope that our staff will come up with some idea to do something with Garden Grove Park, which does need some help too. Thank you.
Very exciting to see this park moving forward. It's been a long time coming, so much vision and time and energy and creativity put into this quality of life is obviously something that's extremely important to us. And on the east side of Garden Grove, which tends to be denser, a lot of the community looks to these parks as their backyard. And so to be able to provide this to the community where we'll have a little something for everyone in a park of this size, I think you'll have people coming from far and wide to enjoy it. So it's very exciting. We have a motion and a second. Call for the vote, please.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to matters, and we'll start with District 1 this evening.
Well, thank you. Quite frankly, I don't like to talk about things that have already happened, so I kind of look at that as a faux pas on the council. But with that being said, I am going to talk about the Strawberry Festival. We had a really great attendance. I think the parade is probably the densest parade I've ever seen as far as people attending the parade. Generally, it's pretty spotty on Chapman when you start off on the parade, and there was people the whole length. I mean, there was one small area, I think, on Euclid, right in front of the VA something up there that had just a handful of people. But for the most part, the whole route was well attended, and I haven't heard any of the numbers yet officially yet, but I'm sure the festival itself broke records, and I know it was very well received. I saw most of you there Friday night when we passed out the strawberry shortcake, and it was a really good event. So I just want to congratulate the Strawberry Festival Association for a fairly well-run event this year, and all staff who was involved in that as well. And can't wait till next year. It's better every year, right?
I too would like to congratulate the Strawberry Festival Association for organizing such an amazing event. From my research, our Strawberry Festival is like a second from Rose Parade from the whole country. So, and it's even more special this year for me because it happened right on my birthday. I have the luckiest people congratulate my birthday ever in my life. Yes. And so, thank you so much, and I'm good.
Okay, before we lose the strawberry spirits, I'm gonna continue with that thought. Great job. Every single day, well, let's see, on Saturday and Sunday, we have so many people still in line waiting for game, waiting for food. The food booth that I volunteered last year and also this year is the Funnel Cake. We have probably another 50 more people in line, but because that was the end of the day, so our police sat down and at exactly time, count to the second. And then also another amazing thing that I noticed, there were so many people, but when after our police make the announcement, the park got clear really quick. I was so impressed. Like we tried to clean up everything inside, and the minute we come out, there was nobody in the park. So that just tells us that how efficient our police is. Amazing. I just want to take the opportunity to say thank to Travis, the 8 years old that were running with me for the 5K. He was in front of me, and I just always try to catch up with him. And at the end, he saw his mom, so he followed his mom. But we met at the finish line. Thanks, Travis. Also want to say thanks to all the volunteer high school students who was there, volunteer many hours. In every single booth, they was there doing surfing. There were a couple of students that's from the morning all the way to the night closing, like do double shift, which is amazing just because they enjoy it, they have fun doing it, and I have fun volunteering too. Thanks to Steve and his family for actually making the food for volunteer. So for other city, for example, Stanton City, mayor normally do the hot dog for all the volunteer at the carnival. And so when I was just asking, like, Steve family does that for all the volunteer staff. and the police shoe. So, Steve, thank you. I got to meet him, his wife, his grandkid, the little baby was there volunteering too. Amazing event. I cannot wait for the next one. And so many positive note when I was leaving, when the park were leaving, like there was so many people leaving, and they all said, like they couldn't wait to come back again for the next Strawberry Festival. Next one is the ICSC. This is the event that Mayor and I went representing for our city. I want to take the opportunity to say thanks to Matt, Greg, Monica, Grace, Usella for all your support. You guys was there setting up. The mayor and I just come and just follow our staff. There was many meetings, and we just follow Matt and Greg wherever they go. The next meeting, we just go there. The great thing is that because this is actually the third time for me to go. First time I didn't know much, just the staff tell me what to do. Second time I get to talk to the people, and then this time I was able to come back and talk to the investor and the people that bring business to our city. The one thing that I was impressed is our staff. At the front table, anyone stop at our table, Monica and Greg always welcome them with a big smile and giving them the information about our city. And 99%, everyone just come and say great thing about Kansas City, like, oh, I have my business there, I miss that, or I want to come back, etc. And then also, of course, Matt and Greg and Usella went with us in couple of the meeting, and actually sitting in the meeting. Their skill, their talent, their knowledge is amazing. If you get to be one of the council, me or mayor, you could see that their heart and soul, they try the best for our city. They know the area that need help, they would tell the investor about that. This area, we need somebody to come in, bring in money. Or we try to talk to the big tenant and inviting them to our city. We actually, Greg took extra time and took me, Matt and the mayor to different locations that he think that potential to do something good for our city. So thank you so much for doing that. People don't get to see that. We got to see that in our, with our own eye. So great job, and thank you for doing so. Next one is the, as you know, I'm the alternation for the mayor and the OC Sen. The last meeting I went, this is just a quick report for city or resident. They make a presentation, and there was a project that is gonna cost 125 mil, and they said that it's gonna be another 50 mil increase. So I asked the question, what is it about? Is it about the scope change, or is it about the cost adjustment? And they said it was cost adjustment for 50 million. So I asked them to provide more detail to the mayor, because I was just the alternate. So hopefully we will see something back. I know that sometimes it's just too much for us to understand, especially we don't get to see all the detail, but when something like that, we want to make sure, we just check and balance it to see that it makes sense. And then last but not least, mayor and couple of council member, Councilmember Philip was at the Siêu Thị Cát Lợi grand opening. This is a brand new fresh food supermarket in our city. And so there was a lot of people there, and the great thing is that we were able to invite them to be part of our Chamber of Commerce. So our Chamber of Commerce super excited that too. And many of us was there, and other mayor and council from other locations came. So just want to say congratulations to my friend, and looking forward to see more fresh food and great clean supermarket for us to enjoy. Thank you. Yeah.
We had a lot to celebrate this weekend. Obviously, Strawberry Festival is my favorite event in Garden Grove. We missed it this year because we went out of town to celebrate Mom and Dad's anniversary, as well as mine and my wife Dina Nguyen. So happy anniversary to my wife, and also Memorial Day weekend, a special meeting for us. It's also when we have our Strawberry Festival, and a lot of our veterans and their families come and line up on the parade route, and I'm always very fond of thank you to our service people for their service, and we don't forget the people who've given us the ultimate sacrifice. We are home of the free because of the brave, and we don't forget in our celebrations that we commemorate the gift that we've been gifted of freedom, and we're in this country for the freedom, and we thank America, and we thank everyone who has sacrificed for this great country, and that's what I have to say today. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the Council for acknowledging the LGBTQ Pride Month. It's a meaningful recognition of inclusion and equity in our community. I am also incredibly excited about Woodbury Park revitalization and expansion project. Tonight, we took a major step forward by voting to award the contract to begin the work. The park is a vital space for the residents in both District 5 and District 6, and I am thrilled to see it moving ahead. I'd like to take a moment to highlight a few events I've attended since the last council meeting, one of them being the GGPD annual Call to Duty Memorial event. It was an honor to be there and to stand in remembrance of the brave officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice right here in our own hometown. The ceremony was a moving tribute to their service and a powerful reminder of the commitment our officers make every single day to keep our community safe. I'd like to share a quick recap of the meet and greet event I hosted, where residents came together for drinks and hot dogs and discussed important issues facing District 5. We had well over a dozen residents in attendance, many of whom I was meeting for the first time. It was a great opportunity to connect and hear directly from the community. To keep the conversation going, I invite everyone to join me at my upcoming Walk and Talk event for District 5 on Saturday, June 7th at 8 a.m. sharp at West Haven Park. Come get some steps in and enjoy some fun and fresh air and participate in raffles and other goodies that we have planned for District 5 residents who attend. I hope to see you there. Recently, I had the unique opportunity to job shadow Selena Gomez, Selena Gomez, a dedicated swing night custodian in Garden Grove High School. This was made possible through the SCEA Local 121, and it gave me a meaningful glimpse into the hard work and the commitment of our school support staff. Selena's professionalism and pride to her work were truly inspiring. I am grateful to her and the SEA for giving me the chance to better understand the essential role classified staff such as custodians and how it plays a big role in maintaining our schools safe and welcoming with learning environments that are suited for our students. To kick off the Strawberry Festival festivities, I had the pleasure of attending the 48th Annual Strawberry Ball, a wonderful tradition where our local seniors are invited to celebrate the spirit of community and volunteerism. I was especially thrilled to share the night with my daughter as my date. We both had a fantastic time. The Strawberry Ball was a perfect lead on to the rest of the festival celebrations. Next on the list was the traditional cake cutting ceremony. And I have to say, I have never seen such a large cake in my life. The line was so long and people were eager to get a slice of cake. It was amazing. I had a great
It was a great way to start the festivities. I had an amazing time passing out cake alongside my fellow council colleagues, sharing smiles and sweet moments with our community. It was so much fun and heartwarming to connect with residents and celebrate the start of this beloved annual event. It was an honor to participate in this year's Strawberry Festival Parade, an experience that was truly full circle for me. As a little girl, I used to sit on the curb and watch the parade go by. And now, to be able to be part of it as a councilwoman is something I will always cherish. A big thank you to the Orange County Mustang Car Club for providing a beautiful Mustang I rode on. Lisa, if you can please send them a thank you on my behalf, I would really appreciate it. It was such a joy to see the familiar faces along the parade route and to be recognized by residents I've met at community events. It really reminded me of the deep connections we're building in our city. Lastly, the festival itself was awesome. I had a wonderful time enjoying it with my family. We rode the rides. We had all sorts of strawberry desserts from booths, and also had a chance to support our local schools and nonprofit organizations. These organizations help our city thrive. I want to give a shout out to the Strawberry Festival Association for organizing in such fun and meaningful event for our community. I also had the pleasure of meeting several of the association directors, including Steve Sandlers, Don Miller, and Andrea Perez. They, along with many dedicated volunteers, worked countless hours behind the scenes to ensure our community had a great time. And I truly appreciate their hard work. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm gonna rush through this as quickly as possible so we can all get on to going to the next thing that we're going to do. But I want to start off by saying happy Pride Month to everyone. A happy early Pride Month. This month is particularly significant to me. I'm very proud to be the first openly LGBTQ woman who has been elected to Garden Grove City Council. It means a lot to me to be here on this dais and to be sharing alongside this journey with the rest of my colleagues and the members of the community. I remember years ago when we were first bringing up the issue of pride and acknowledging pride in Garden Grove, and we had such an outpouring from the community, and it led to this wonderful tradition that we now have of lighting our clock tower along Euclid, putting up the pride banner, and acknowledging this month as a city. And I know so many of the people in this room had a part to play in that, so I'm very grateful of the support that you guys have given the community over the years. Please be on the lookout because I'll probably be out there taking pictures, so if you guys want to hang out with me and take some really cute pictures, look for that on my social media. But thank you again, everyone. It means a lot to me. Okay, and we all celebrated the Strawberry Festival. Again, happy birthday to my colleague Philip. He was the coolest guy in town in his amazing car. We all had a blast, but none of us had a better time than Philip. It was a lot of fun. All the celebrations leading up to the Strawberry Festival were just so amazing, from the strawberry ball to our cake cutting, to being in the parade. Being born and raised in Garden Grove, I love this amazing tradition that we have. It brings people from all over, and the Strawberry Festival and the foundation, they help so many local organizations and nonprofits. Cindy brought up volunteering at the funnel cake booth, and growing up as a Key Club kid here, I would volunteer at the funnel cake booth every year with our great Kiwanians here in Garden Grove, and all that money would go towards scholarships that would help our local kids. And I know there's sports teams out there, other NPOs And they all really benefit from the outpouring of support that we get in the Strawberry Festival. So I really appreciate the work that Mr. Tony Lopez and the rest of the folks with the Strawberry Festival Foundation have put into making this event such a success. I also want to extend my thanks to our police department for keeping us all safe this weekend, and in all the events leading up to all of our celebrations, because there were a lot of people, like George said, more people than I think we've seen in a really long time. So that was a big undertaking. So thank you guys so much for all of that. Just had just such a great time. And also a special thanks to Lisa, our city manager, and her wonderful husband, Ed. Lisa, thank you so much for riding in the parade with me. And Ed for driving us around. Thank you to Ed's wonderful friend for letting us borrow that his very fancy Porsche for us to ride in for the parade. It was very, very, very nice. So thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for the Kim family for being so wonderful. We have some events coming up in District 6, so let's get some of those logistics squared away. The Walk and Talk is slated for Saturday, June 14th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're going to be meeting at Sabroso Mexican Grill on Harbor and Garden Grove. We'll be starting at 8 a.m. and walking down Harbor, highlighting some of our wonderful sites along what is a very important corridor in our city. And so I look forward to being there and meeting as many of you guys as possible. So remember that, June 14th, Saturday, June 14th. Next, we have Beautify Buena Clinton 2.0. Beautify Buena Clinton 1.0 had a lot of rain. That was in April, and what a downpour. We did a lot of community beautification and cleanup, but the one thing that we weren't able to do is some painting. And I know we want to be able to spruce up that part of town with a little touch of love. So Beautify Buena Clinton 2.0, Saturday, June 21st. Be on the lookout for that. We're gonna do some more bulky item pickup and some more painting, hopefully this time. There will not be a deluge. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys there. And that's all for me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the Strawberry Festival was incredible. I think the crowds were huge, and I heard from a few of the foundation board members that potentially some records were broken. So we'll have to see what that report looks like. And thank you to obviously Public Works, our police department, OCFA, GG CERT, city staff, and all of our nonprofits and service clubs. It really takes all hands on deck and quite a team effort to put on a festival such as this. And I think Garden Grove really shined over the weekend, so it was wonderful. I also want to congratulate Garden Grove Unified School District's class of 2025. We've had graduations taking place today here at Monsoor Stadium, as well as at Bolsa Grande High School. Over the course of today and tomorrow. So congratulations to the seniors. You make us very proud. And with that, the city, yes, and on to our city attorney.
Mayor, we did have a closed session earlier today, but there's no reportable action out of that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, city manager.
No, Madam Mayor, I just wanted to, maybe just one remark to thank the council for all your support of city staff as we lifted and contributed to really make the Strawberry Festival equally successful. And, you know, many city staff also are part of our service clubs, and they also volunteered, and they took time out of the weekend to really contribute and give back to our community. So I want to thank our staff as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we stand adjourned.